So I hoped I would arrive back to the show after a glorious 2 weeks in Malta, and don't you dare holiday shame me either. And by the way, thank you so much to Mark Dolan for his epic work in this seat. But I hoped I would arrive back with some sense and normality, returning to what should be a post-pandemic UK. COVID-19 is fast becoming endemic all over the world. Britain should be leading the effort to show we must not waste any more precious days of our even more precious short lives and live with this damn thing. The ludicrous and terrifying situation the failed zero COVID nations, or should I say jails, Australia and New Zealand now find themselves in, prove that an elimination strategy was a dangerous folly. But instead, the spectre of two more hysterical decisions hang over us. The first is the government's determination to overturn the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation's sensible decision not to recommend a mass vaccination programme for 12 to 15-year-olds. For months, we've heard that the JCVI is an independent body that ministers and health officials have implored us to respect. Follow the science, they said. Remember that? But the moment the JCVI made a decision against jabbing completely healthy youngsters at close to zero chance of dying from COVID, they want to throw the science out the window. Sure, Israel and Australia and lots of these other crazy countries want to go even further and jab all those over 5 years old. We don't necessarily have to follow them, though. If Chris Whitty and the other chief medical officers overturn the JCVI recommendation as expected, then we'll know for sure that they'll only follow the science that suits their COVID-centric political agenda. The second decision relates to the introduction of vaccine passports. In January, Vaccine Minister Nadhim Zahawi gave us a cast-iron guarantee that they were out of the question. He tweeted, "We have no plans to introduce vaccine passports. No one has been given or will be required to have a vaccine passport." That turned out to be a screeching U-turn. Zahawi has confirmed that vaccine passports will be required for large venues, mass gatherings and nightclubs from as early as the end of the month. The decision is shameful. It further strips away our liberties. It creates a two-tier biosecurity state. And it's not even scientifically sound, as we know that the double-jabbed still transmit COVID. So why bother? Worryingly, another story not going anywhere, even though the BBC and the rest of the media just hate talking about it, is the migrant crisis on the Channel. At least 1,000 men, women and children are believed to have arrived illegally today. 1,000, including on a packed boat in Kent. Now, there's the boat there. Now, that would be a record number, and it comes as a result of the good weather that makes crossing more appealing. The government promised to make the route unviable, but it has failed this summer. And that's not good enough. The boats must be stopped. Now, is Boris Johnson a Taino? A Tory in name only, that is. That's my new acronym. And it's the question that I've posed in my new column for the Mail Online today. After his ridiculous decision to break his cast-iron guarantee not to raise the rate of income tax, VAT or national insurance. However, it appears the PM and his new Health Secretary Sajid Javid have cajoled the reluctant Chancellor Rishi Sunak into agreeing to a 1.25% national insurance hike, which could be announced as early as tomorrow, despite staunch opposition from within the cabinet. As I wrote, astronomical tax rises, the state interfering in all aspects of our lives, a sprawling and inefficient National Health Service that sucks up billions and billions more each year, and a desire to damage the British economy to achieve net zero before comparable Western democracies. If we wanted that sort of hellscape, we would have voted for bloody Jeremy Corbyn. Boris Johnson needs saving from himself before it's too late. Now, the tragic death of Sarah Harding at just 39 from breast cancer is devastating. I was very fond of the Girls Aloud legend, who was outrageous and funny and deeply vulnerable in equal measure. It's also very worrying that her diagnosis may have been delayed by COVID. Sarah Harding wrote in her autobiography published before her death, "Coronavirus hit, the dreaded COVID-19, and everything either went into slow motion or stopped altogether. I was aware that I needed to get this health issue sorted, but with everything that was going on, It was tough. She added, one day I woke up realising I'd been in denial. Yes, there was a lockdown. Yes, there was a pandemic. But it was almost as if I'd been using that as an excuse not to face up to the fact that something was very wrong. Absolutely heartbreaking. The health system must never again be shut down in the way it was last March.